A quick note before today's video, I just launched a course. It's free for the first 25 enrollments, so be sure to head to WPCourseGuide.com and click on the link at the top about the LifterLMS Elementor course if you want to learn more about how you can use LifterLMS and Elementor to create highly customizable learning management websites. We dive into step 1 of getting WordPress ready, all the way to creating templates and applying them to lessons and all sorts of tools you can use around that. A full site build course, free for the first 25 enrollments. So head to WPCourseGuide.com and check it out. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. Hey, this is Will from WPCourseGuide.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can add a custom post type to your WordPress website. And this maybe could be for documents, extra resources, events, whatever post type you wanted to add that doesn't quite perfectly fit into blog posts or courses or lessons or memberships. If you wanted to create your own, we're going to cover that in this video. And stick around to the end of the video for Elementor users on how to use Elementor on your new custom post type to really take your design to the next level. But we'll cover how to do it just in WordPress without Elementor, without a page builder, just with WordPress out of the box, and a couple plugins first, and then dive into more of the Elementor styling at the end. So the two plugins you're going to want to make sure you have are Custom Post Type UI and Cadence Blocks for Gutenberg blocks for the page builder. This is just going to give us one block that we need to display all of our posts in kind of a nice archive style. And so the Custom Post Type UI is what's going to allow us to make our post type in the first place. So it's going to allow us to create our documents, resources, events in the admin panel without having to add any custom code in there. So the first thing we're going to want to do is head to CPT UI down here near the bottom, and I'm going to say Edit Post Type or Add/Edit Post Type. And now I can create my post type. Let's say I'll write maybe Course Resources is going to be my post type. And my idea here is that maybe I have a couple of external resources that don't quite fit into my lessons, but I talk about them. So that's kind of my idea here for courses. And you could apply this to anything, but I'm going to talk about it in the context of online courses and memberships. So I need to give it a plural label, a slug, and a singular label. We'll say Course Resources, and then Course Resource is the singular label. And then I'm going to say Add Post Type. And there it is. You can see it on the left-hand sidebar now, Course Resources. And I can see all my course resources just like I can with Pages. It's just another post type right here in WordPress for me. Now I can say Add New. And this is just like a blog post editor. So maybe my course is about cooking, so I'll say How to Cook Scrambled Eggs is going to be my course resource. Perfect. And then I'll have my instructions here. Maybe it's like a list, like a bullet list. Step 1, step 2. So I'll just call that good for now so we can see the example and what it looks like. Now I'm going to view my course resource, and there it is. So it's just like a blog post, except this is my custom post type here at the top. Now, how would I display my posts in an archive style if I wanted to? Right now I could link to this individually, like I could send someone a link and they could view it, so I could put that in a button on my course, I could put it wherever I wanted. But if I wanted to create an archive that will display all of my course resources, I can do that as well. And that's where Cadence Blocks comes in. If I go to Pages, Add New, I'm going to create a Course Resources archive. Or maybe I could say, since it's a cooking course, I could call it like Recipe Archive. Recipes would be a good example of a custom post type you could create. So I'm just going to publish my Course Resources archive. Oh, and one block I'm going to want to put on here is from Cadence Blocks, the post type block. And there we go. So this is currently displaying my blog posts, but we want to say display my course resources. So that's over here on Select Post Type in the upper right. I'm going to say Course Resources. There we go. So there's my How to Cook Scrambled Eggs course resource. And I have all sorts of options here on the right-hand side for the styling and the size and all that stuff if I wanted to customize my archive here. But then I can view my archive page, and there it is. And if I add maybe another course resource, and I'm kind of going down the the rabbit hole of recipes, so I'm going to continue on that. Let's say how to cook, I don't know, sunny side up eggs. And then I would have that course resource as well. And then I'll publish that. And that will also display on my archive. So if I go back to my course resource archive there, all of the post types I create are now going to display here in my archive. And I can add that page to my menu, maybe put it as a link in the sidebar of my course, really whatever I want it to do. But now I can create custom post types on my website and display them in an archive. Let's go through that process really quickly again so you can kind of get the feel for what it's like to create more custom post types. So under CPT UI, I'm going to go add, edit post type, and maybe this time I'll create like community events is another post type. Just call it community events. So maybe this is how I announce some upcoming events to my students in the course. If maybe there's a live Zoom session or something, I can create community events. We'll just say this will be my March meetup. And then we're hosting a meetup, ... Publish that. And then I could create an archive for my community events. I'll go to Pages, Add New, Upcoming Community Events. We'll grab the posts block. And then my post type is, of course, community events. And there it is. And I could add featured images, customize my archive, however I wanted to do that. I could really customize this page. And any new community events I add will show up here. And you could even put that maybe on the dashboard page. If you're trying to get people to engage in your community events there, maybe you would even just put that cadence block right here on your student dashboard page. So if I had posts, and then I want to display community events here, and then I could display a number of items. This is going to display the top 6, so maybe we'll change it to 3. I only have one community event right now, but once I get a lot of them, if this will only display the top 3. So there's my March meetup. It's right there for students to kind of see what's going on when they log into their course. They say, oh, there's a meetup going on. That might encourage them to get more involved with what you're doing in the context of online courses. So now that we know how to create those custom post types and create an archive, let's talk about how you could use a page builder in conjunction with your custom post types. So under my course resources, oops, there was a connection interruption there. Under my course resources, I can currently edit these with the default WordPress editor, as you saw. But what if I wanted to edit with Elementor or Beaver Builder or Divi? This would work a similar way. So for Elementor specifically, I would go to Elementor settings and check course resources as a post type that I can edit in Elementor, and then go back to course resources. And I'll now have that edit with Elementor button at the top. So I could build my post in Elementor if I really wanted to style it up and get some of those more advanced options for all of the things that Elementor has to offer. So now that I know how to individually edit these with Elementor, if you're an Elementor Pro user, you can even go a step further and create a template for your posts. So instead of having to edit each of your posts individually, like I did there where I activate the Elementor editor and then build it myself, I can create a template that applies to all of my course resources. So if I went to Templates, Add New, I'll just create a single post template. And this is my course resources I was working on. Create template. We'll just X out of this layout here. But if I wanted to maybe show the heading or the content title, or what's it called, the post title, I would add a heading block in here, and I would use the dynamic visibility here, or dynamic tags, to display the post title. And so this is just a blog post, I believe. But let's set my display conditions for this template to display on my course resources. So course resources, display on all course resources, and then save. So let me go view one of my course resources, and my Elementor template should apply there. There it is, how to cook scrambled eggs. And so if I wanted to edit that template, there's a little shortcut to edit it here, but I could edit my course resources template. Turn around under templates, all, and then course resources. I can edit that template. And currently my template's not displaying any of my content because I only set it to display the title. So if I put in the content, the post content block right there, and then update, let's actually go back out of here, exit to dashboard, and view my course resources, the scrambled eggs one. There it is. So it's displaying the title like I have it here, and then the content of my post. And this might be a little confusing because it's automatically pulling in a blog post. If I wanted to change that, I could go to the settings at the bottom here in Elementor and say preview. I want to preview with a course resource just to make it a little clearer for myself. And the one I want to look is how to cook scrambled eggs, apply and preview. And this makes it so the preview is a little bit easier to work with if you're actually previewing with the post type you're working with. But it'll work functionally either way. So that's how you can create a template to customize your course resources page. And the beauty of the template is that when you create a new course resource, it's automatically going to have the same styling. And if you were to update the styling, maybe you didn't want this blue title anymore and you wanted to update all of your course resource titles, you would have to go into each course resource individually and change the color, which can be a lot of work. But if you're using a template, all you would have to do is change the color here in your template, update, and that's going to apply automatically to all of your course resources or whatever post type you're applying it to. So if I were to view, I click to edit. If I were to view here, it's going to automatically update each course resource since this template applies to all of them. So that's kind of how you can take it to the next level with adding custom post types to your website and then customizing them with Elementor. And you could even go more advanced if you wanted to and add custom fields to your post type and then pull those custom fields in to maybe a text block. That's a little more advanced, but if you want to see some more tutorials that are in depth on going into custom fields in Elementor, be sure to leave a comment down below this video and I can dive into that. So yeah, this has been Will Middleton from WPCourseGuide.com. Make sure to head to WPCourseGuide.com and check out the free course. It's free for the first 25 enrollments on how to use LifterLMS with Elementor for building online course websites with a high level of customizability. Be sure to check that out in the link below this video.